All right, everybody. Welcome. This is year one, Cheesebowl, New York. We have a very rich history in New Jersey. We're going to see if we can't do the damn thing over here in New York. So this video is going to be reviewing our inaugural draft. I'm going to be going through everybody's teams. I'm not going to be going round to round. I'm going to go team to team. I feel like that gives me an even better ability to shit on you guys if at all possible, which there's always possibilities. Yeah, that's right. So here we go. I'm going to just kind of kick it off, just kind of jump into this because there's a lot to talk about here. There's a couple first-time fantasy players. You got Casey, Sonny, Tito, Ryan, Ian. Well, not Ian because he did basketball, but Mark. And you got a couple first-time footballers. You got Ian and his brother Tom. And then you have a couple of people that this very well might be their first time in a real league, where there will be no bullshit. I won't say I run a tight ship, but no rule changes in the middle of the year. Nobody's going to get fucked with anything like that. One thing as a league that we do need to figure out is what Kenford's name is going to be, because his punishment for not being at the draft will be that we pick his team name. He must apply it immediately, and he must not change it until he wins the game. Be as savage and as brutal as you want, because I personally wanted us to make his first pick, and I think Houston defense would have been the move with pick number 5. That being said, I don't think he did a bad job shooting himself in the foot, taking Saquon with the 5th pick overall, but we'll get to his team when we get to it. So without further ado, I am going to start reviewing. And we will start with Ian. We'll start with Ian Maskey's team, okay? Ian picked out of the what would have been the 14th spot if Kai and Chinoy weren't cowards. So picking from the 12th spot. Now, keeping in mind, this is a possible 2-quarterback league, a super flex league. So, drafts might be a little unconventional. So with the first pick out of the 12 hole, it goes Cooper Kupp. I got no beef with that on a scale of 1 to 100. Given the players that were already taken, I'm going to go ahead and give you 100, especially with the pick that you made after it. Quarterback panic is real. And Cusack really started this draft fucked up. He went right for a QB with the first overall pick. And it kind of sent everyone into a tizzy. I know for a fact Casey was dying on the hill that he was taking Jamar Chase with the first pick. Take your guy. Don't worry about the ADP. But as soon as Mahomes went off the board, Allen came right after him. And which led to the ultimate demise of my draft. Not saying that I had a bad one, but the fact of the matter is that for, I'd say 90 days, I did 150 mock drafts. And every draft, I had no problem getting Jalen Hurts. But the QB panic is real, so Tom's sharked Jalen Hurts away from me, sending me into a fucking frenzy. But let's get back to Ian. Okay, so Cooper Kupp goes 12th pick overall. That's an awesome pick. Yes, he got hurt last year. However, I feel like if he was on, I don't know, a Cincinnati, a Jacksonville, a Detroit, a high-powered offense that was doing well, making it to the playoffs or on the fringe of making it to the playoffs, with no doubt in their QB. I think that Cooper Kupp plays more games than he played last year. I think he returns to the field sooner. And keep in mind that last year he had a mammoth season. And if fantasy went into the real NFL playoffs, this guy was a target monster, as sure-handed as you could get, almost a lock for a TD every game. Cooper Kupp, 12th pick overall. That is something I'm down with. Occasionally, I'll look up the ADP, but he's right around there. And in a conventional redraft league without 2 quarterbacks, Cooper Kupp is actually going 5th overall. So that's a good pick, obviously. Then you got Joe Burrow. Listen, what can you say about Joe Burrow other than he got hurt a few years ago? all he did was come back and then go to an AFC championship game and get screwed last year, and the year before go to the Super Bowl and come within 30 yards of winning that game. And fuck Samaje Perine because, you know, the ball fucking hit him on the ass and he could have caught that shit. So Burrow, you're looking at a guy that, you know, tore his ACL in his first year, horrific injury, came back, made it to the Super Bowl, almost fucking won it. And then the year after that gets totally hosed in the AFC Championship because of the home field advantage, because of what happened with Buffalo, the player nearly dying on the field. And, you know, the NFL's boner collectively for Pat Mahomes. I mean, you know, you can't come out with a Netflix show a year later and act like that shit wasn't getting filmed last year. It was. The NFL wanted them to win. And you know, I know it's a ridiculous thing to say, and I take nothing away from Mahomes and the Chiefs, that team, and all the wonderful things they've done, and Andy Reid's, you know, coaching prowess. But the fact of the matter is there was a ton of questionable calls in that game. That was Cincinnati's game. They got fucked, and they should have been in the Super Bowl and in a game that I think they would have won. So Joe Burrow, awesome pick, 2 QB league. You held out, you made it through the wave, you made it to the second round. I know you got the double pick, but Joe Burrow, great pick. Now, Davante Adams in the third round, I'm going to give you on a scale of 1 to 100. I am going to give you a 100 on that pick also. Now, as much as I love hating on Ian, I would love to. I just cannot in this case. The fact of the matter is he got Davante Adams after Chris Olave, DK Metcalf, Garrett Wilson, and Chris Godwin. Okay, now some of those are bad picks. Now you could say he's going to have a better season than AJ Brown, but he might not. So I'm not going to split hairs there. Same thing with Amon-Ra St. Brown. St. Brown is a great pick. You know, the ADP is up there. But getting Davante Adams, you got it with the 12. You got him with the 36th pick. I can only imagine that's a decent versus his ADP. His ADP is 17, so you got a 19 pick bargain on that. You got a guy who's clearly going to be the wide receiver one on any team he goes to. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. It doesn't matter if it's Derek Carr. It doesn't matter if it's Jimmy Garoppolo, and it doesn't matter if it's Aaron Rodgers. That man is going to eat. The only questionable thing I see about it is you know, taking, you know, if you're going to take a quarterback in the second round after you took a wide receiver in the first, maybe you might want to start trying to grab a running back. But no, you have a two-headed monster. You have tremendous equity at the wide receiver position. And then just to make matters even better for yourself, in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th round, you got Tyler Lockett, who's a perennial star. DK Metcalf took a huge step back last year, man. Anybody that didn't see the fucking sky being the limit for DK Metcalf after the season he had in 2021 was Nostradamus, because that guy looked like the next big thing. He looked like the next Megatron. He's built to take fucking hits. He could eat a fucking linebacker hit and keep on going. And then after the play's dead, after the ball's been picked off, he went and chased a motherfucker down 95 yards. That is a beast. That is a baller. And guess what? Last year, Tyler Lockett put up comparable numbers. And at the ADP, you got to take each one of them at. Give me Tyler Lockett in the 7th over DK Metcalf in the 3rd, especially after last year, especially after the temper tantrums, the drop passes. It was an inspirational year for Geno Smith, and this is the man that could have put Geno Smith back on the map. He already won Comeback Player of the Year. Great. But if Seattle made the playoffs, he could have won MVP. DK Metcalf really took a major step back. I'm expecting him to take a step forward, but in Ian's case, having Tyler Lockett this much further in the draft than DK Metcalf, and especially having Kupp and Adams, that's a beautiful pick as well, my friend. That's another 100. All right, so the pick after Davante Adams, you got Mark Andrews, who I was targeting that round myself. You got him 2 picks before me, you bastard. Great pick. Travis Kelce obviously is going to go first round. I mean, that's redraft. That's 2 QBs. That could be fucking a tight end gets 2 points for a touchdown. Travis Kelce is the guy. Travis Kelce is the guy that you take because you have to start one tight end, and you got the best one. And if there's one person that might outscore him on any other given week, it's Mark Andrews, and you got him in the 4th round. You got him in the 4th round. So you have a possible overall wide receiver one, possible overall QB1, You have a fringe 1A, 1B guy in Devontae Adams, and now you have the second best tight end in the league. In your first 4 picks, you are hitting an A+, my brother. It kills me to say it, but you got it, okay? So now Breece Hall, here's an interesting pick, okay? Because the hype this year on Breece Hall is the same as it was last year. The fact of the matter is he's a Jet. And when's the last time any Jet running back has done anything relevant for any of us at all? When is the last time a New York Jet was drafted in fantasy inside of the first 10 rounds and paid any dividends to anybody? And the answer is fucking zero, okay? Because the Jets stink. Their organization stinks. They haven't had anything going for them. But now, this year, you have a smart quarterback. You have a sophomore coach, okay? You have Breece Hall as their clear bell cow running back. You have a great quarterback, and he brought over his friend Alan Lazard. You have some things going on there in offense. You know, you also have you have Garrett Wilson. You got things going on. You have pieces. So obviously, this is the best chance he's had to have a big year. The only thing I would say for you is I would be pissed if that was my RB1. Not pissed, but I would definitely be shitting a brick. I would definitely be very questionable as to that being the guy that I got to put in the first running back spot every week has to be a New York Jet for you, and that fucking would terrify me. Now, you have enough equity elsewhere, and especially in your next pick, Daniel Jones. So now the fact of the matter is, whereas I would give Breece Hall maybe a 60 out of 100 pick in that spot, the fact of the matter is you got 2 really awesome fantasy quarterbacks, a tight end that is in the top 3 in a position where there's only like 5 guys worth rostering, and 2 monster wide receivers. So I can't say that I want to split hairs with you. I'm just looking up Hall's ADP right now. Breece Hall's ADP is 35. You got him at 36, 48. You got him at 60. So, I mean, listen, you got your value. Just like with all your other picks, you got your value. So I can't shit on that pick, and especially after you got Danny Dimes right after him. I'm going to go ahead and give Breece Hall I'm going to give him am I going to give him here? All right, let's see what came after him. All right, so what came after him was Kenneth Walker III. I would prefer him. I'm not going to lie to you. I would prefer Kenneth Walker, but okay, that's splitting hairs. Yeah, really nothing amazing. Kamara is a bit of a risk, and he's not going to play for the first few weeks, though I love him. Gibbs, he's my boy. I took him because of the steal at ADP, but I don't know shit about him. So, you know what? As far as where you got him, I can't shit talk you on that one. And Daniel Jones, as much as in real life, we like to clown on him. The dude trips over his own 2 fucking feet. He can't air the ball out. He also plays behind the 30th worst fucking offensive line. Was used to having an underperforming or hurt Saquon until last year. Has never had a good wide receiver, and anybody that had a chance to be good, i.e. Kenny Golladay, i.e. Kadarius Toney, just didn't play. They got the fucking bag and they didn't play. They're fucking heartless, and it fucked up Daniel Jones's persona. However, that being said, with a couple pieces this year, Darren Waller, a healthy Saquon Barkley trying to get a better contract, you know what? He might have a year, but I'll tell you, in a 2 QB league, getting him in the 6th round is great. You have Alexander Mattinson. He finally got the starting role he was back up to Dalvin Cook for several years. And whenever Cook was hurt, Madison always came in and had a big game. The thing that you have to consider there, though, is the fact that they were very different players. Madison isn't nearly remotely close to the runner that Dalvin Cook was, but he was a superior pass-catching back. The guy, if you gave him 20 feet between him and a defender, he's a big, strong-bodied guy. He's fast. He's elusive. He could take hits. He could shake people off. He could stiff arm. The guy's a baller. I like him for that pick. I like them because they're a highly offensive team. I like them because, I just like the pick. I like the pick a lot. I want to see him do well. Am I sure that he will? No. But at the same time, this is the 7th round and it's a running back. So you're not exactly expecting to find your RB1 there, although he might end up having to be an every week starter for you. For your case, I hope he sucks. But in real life, with your 7th pick, after building a monster squad at the top, man, your position that you need the most improvement with is running back, and your running back still ain't bad. All right. DeAndre Swift, I don't really have too much I want to say about him. I mean, he looked great in Detroit when Detroit didn't have anything going on, but once they got a guy with a fucking brain in their head running the offense, DeAndre Swift found his way out of there. That's got to tell you something. They could have hired him for not that much money. And it looks good for my boy that they got a first round draft pick and took a running back, so I know he's going to start. So DeAndre Swift, I'm not sure, with his new team how he's going to end up. ADP wise, we're going to see how you did. You might have very well done well ADP wise, on Philly. So he's taken 86th overall. You came right around where you should have gotten him. Brandon Ayuk, that's a steal. That is a steal, my friend. That's a huge pick, and that's one of those picks that makes me go back and wonder what the fuck happened. Now, where my team was at, I didn't need a Brandon Ayuk. I unfortunately needed a fucking Kenny Pickett because I had one goddamn quarterback. So, and that's not the place you want to be in. But I have some monster guys. But getting Brandon Ayuk in the 10th round, that guy might have a 1,100-yard season. You're talking about a new season, a new start, a new year with Christian McCaffrey is gonna play every game if he's healthy. That's gonna keep defenses honest. You have enough guys around. You got Kittle, who, if he's again, the San Francisco 49ers, the only thing that has held them from winning a Super Bowl in the last 5 years is injuries. You have one of the best tight ends ever in George Kittle. The guy is fun to watch. He has sure hands. He eats hits. He has heart. When he's hurt, he wants to play. He doesn't just want to get paid to do nothing. There was a year, maybe 3 years ago, he missed like 80% of the season, and he was healthy to play the last game of the year when they had no chance to make the playoffs, and he demanded that he go on the field, even though it's a meaningless game that he could have gotten hurt again. And he went out and he had something like 13 catches, 2 touchdowns, and 180 yards. The guy is a fucking monster and has heart. And you have Deebo Samuel, who gets lined up in the slot as a wideout, as a quarterback, as a running back. The guy does everything. So you're in a pretty good situation there with Brandon Ayuk. You're in an offense that likes to spread the ball around and has plenty of weapons. You don't need the strongest quarterback for him to have great numbers. All right. Tyler Bass, who gives a shit? It's a kicker. You got a good one. Now you got what's this guy's first name? Richardson, this motherfucker. So all I've heard as far as like listening to research and stuff like that, Anthony Richardson, is that this guy is gonna be the guy. Okay. The Colts. The Colts over the past several years have simply existed to be a retirement home for quarterbacks. Since they drafted Andrew Luck, they have done nothing at the quarterback position, and they've done really not much to help out their quarterbacks either. They haven't really done much work with their offensive line. They got Jonathan Taylor to keep defenses honest, but it honestly just brought more attention to the area of the quarterback, which more often than not was a guy a year or two out of retirement that can't move away from the defense. You're talking Matt Ryan, Phil Rivers, who's the guy who fucking kind of looks like me, that fucking ass Carson Wentz. They just keep hiring these old heads that just don't have it anymore and then wonder what the fuck went wrong. Poor Michael fucking Pittman, that's a guy that should be racking monster fucking numbers. If you put him with Pat Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, this guy would be eating. And he's not. Nobody's eating on that team. They are despicably bad. Now, having said that, this young man has the chance to walk into a franchise that loves football. Okay, they spent years and years and years winning 13-plus games a year with one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and Peyton Manning. They love their team. They love the game. They're not going to be like New York fans. They're not going to be like Kansas City fans. They're not going to come out and boo their quarterback for not winning every fucking game. All right. There's an understanding here that clearly we're in a rebuild that's about 5 fucking years late. Okay, if not more. So having a new athletic, young, exciting quarterback, and then getting him in a 2 QB league in the 12th round, that's good stuff, my friend. That's another 100 out of 100 pick. And then with your last pick, let's see, who the fuck is this? You got Quentin Johnston. That's a burner. It's your last fucking pick. You're kind of rolling the dice. Let's see what the fuck happens. Overall, I give your pick, your picks, your team, I give you an A minus. No, I give you a B plus. I give you a B. I give you a B with an A minus upside. If Breece Hall and Alexander Mattison can end up in the top 25 overall running backs, each one of them, I say not only are you without a doubt in the playoffs, you're a championship contender. You're banking on Joe Burrow's health, Cooper Kupp's health, Breece Hall's performance, Alexander Mattison's performance, and everything else I think you got in the bag, bro. So, you're good at quarterback. You only have one tight end, so that's scary. The guy goes down and you're fucked. You're picking someone off the waiver wire. But again, this isn't a high-demand position. There's only like 4 or 5 guys that can consistently outscore the fucking whatever's on the wire, to be honest with you. If I'm you, I'm not going to give you any advice. You don't need any advice. I see something, a move that you can make there. But overall, in my heart of hearts, if I just had to give a solid grade, you'd be somewhere between the B plus and A minus. I give you a B out of safety, but in all honesty, you have a fringe A minus team. So nice job. All right. Next team we're going to go into is Ryan. Ryan, your first year in the league, not bad. Made some nice picks. I'm digging your team, bro. All right, so first round, Lamar Jackson. Obviously, the QB panic obviously was real. It happened immediately. You got to strike while the iron's hot. And the team that won the Cheesebowl New Jersey League last year went QB. You took Lamar Jackson. You took Justin Fields. I honestly thought Fields was going to come back to me. That to me was wild that you took him that early. But then again, you saw the bigger picture that you got 22 picks before your next one, and who knows what would be available. So Justin Fields, great pick. Get you. You have 2 quarterbacks. Now here's the deal. This is what you did that was smart. You went quarterback, and then didn't take a running back. Same thing as Ian with taking a running back in the 5th. However, you took 2 quarterbacks that stuffed the stat sheet with running. Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, not Jalen Hurts, bad example. Deshaun Watson, Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins. Basically, any throwing quarterback whose name is not Pat Mahomes is going to have 1, 2, maybe 3 bad games, and you just got to hope it's not in the playoffs. The fact of the matter is, Allen's going to get you yards with his feet, so is Hurts. But Jackson and Fields are 2 fucking guys that stuff the stat sheet that will finish top 10 in rushing in the league out of the quarterback position. So that's a great pick. Great 1-2 pick. You get 100 for both. Love it. Chris Olave. Listen, do I think that he is a designer name? Do I think he's somebody that you go, yeah, I got Chris Olave, I'm set? No, but I fucking like him a whole lot. You got a brand new coach who's awesome. You took the ball away from that fucking moron Taysom Hill, who I love having in fantasy because he's like having a cheat code because he's got a tight end designation, and at any point in time, he might have to be a quarterback. So he's good for that reason. But for the offense of the New Orleans Saints, Taysom Hill is like having AIDS, okay? He is AIDS to that offense. He destroyed, and Michael Thomas wouldn't fucking play with him. Alvin Kamara's numbers were a shell of what they used to be. The guy is a bum. They haven't had anyone that can throw the ball since Drew Brees, and now you have Derek Carr. Is he Drew Brees? Fuck no. Can he throw the ball with accuracy? Fuck yes. Does he have a better receiver core now than he's ever had? Of course he does. You got Michael Thomas. You have one of the most elite pass-catching backs of all time in Alvin Kamara, and you have an up-and-coming Chris Olave. Chris Olave is just a fine pick, and the only reason I don't give it an A is because you could have had Devontae Adams, and I absolutely would have taken Devontae Adams. But honestly, that's really the only guy I see that's better than him. You could say Jalen Waddle too, but Waddle has to compete with Tyreek Hill, and maybe Tua Tagovailoa dies. Maybe he gets hit with one more concussion, and then it's the Tyreek Hill show, and anybody else just might as well not even be there. Anything else debating Chris Olave going in that round is splitting hairs other than Devontae Adams. So I give that a 90 out of 100 pick. TJ Hawkinson, you're filling out your lineup. Smart. You didn't go with another wide receiver, even though you had a couple decent ones available. You went with with a tight end right after a tight end was drafted. Smart, because tight ends are like quarterbacks. A tight end goes, and then tight ends start flying off the board. You got the second. I would say you got the third best. I would say you probably got the third best. Not fourth. I'm going to say the fourth best. You got the fourth best tight end in the fourth round, and you already have two elite backs. You have a solid wide receiver. Not a bad idea going ahead and taking a tight end. Again, it's a position where if you don't get a top 5, you might as well wait until the final rounds. So not a bad pick there. I'll give you a 90 out of 100 on there. Dameon Pierce. Now, here's the deal. Again, is he the most flattering pick? No, but versus every other pick after him, it's not like you could glaringly look at somebody else and go, wow, why didn't you take that guy? Kenneth Walker III, you got Gibbs, you got Kamara. They're just not that much better where I can shit on you for taking Dameon Pierce. Last year, the way Dameon Pierce started, it looked like he was going to be the next big thing, and I'm not saying that he's not. He played for a garbage team last year, and they had no idea how the fuck to use him. All right? Dameon Pierce is a fucking G. He is a baller. That is a guy that can fucking break tackles and has probably a top 3 vision in this league as a pure runner. He's not a guy you need to catch passes, and he does because he plays on a team with such a horrendous offense that throwing to the running back is the only thing stopping him from getting sacked every fucking play. Okay? So Dameon Pierce, I say, for where you got him, great pick. Jerry Jeudy, next pick, I think is also an awesome pick. Great pick, Jerry Jeudy. The fact of the matter is, he gets hurt, okay? And last year was a rough go of things, all right? And I can only imagine that it was a fluke. I can't fathom what happened with Russell Wilson and with that offense last year. I can't imagine it being even close to that bad again. It just won't happen. So Jerry Jeudy, where you got him, I like it. I like the pick. There's not a lot of guys that are so much better than him after that. There's a couple, but it's ticky-tack. I would prefer Terry McLaurin. I would prefer DJ Moore. I would prefer. That's about it. So yeah, not bad. Then after him, where we got? What do we got? All right. You got Javonte Williams, who should have been big last year and wasn't. He spent most of the year hurt, and then kind of just haphazardly shuffled into things. Listen, I give anybody on Denver a pass versus their ADP last year because there's no way that they're that bad, and there's no way that they will be that bad again. It's just not possible. It does not. You're not a guy like Russell Wilson, and that's your life now. You just suck. It's not overnight where you go from a top 5 to 7 guy to bottom of the fucking barrel. I remember I had our NBA draft was in my girlfriend's backyard. We watched that Colts-Denver game, and it was the worst game of football that I have ever seen in my entire life. 2 completely healthy teams faced each other and had a 9-6 game in overtime. It doesn't get any worse. So there is no way that Denver is that bad. Jerry Jeudy's going to have a good year. Javonte Williams is going to have a good year. And guess what, Ryan? You better fucking hope so. All right. Now, I'm a Patriots fan. I'm a very big Patriots fan. I love the Patriots. I hate your next pick. And even in the 2 QB league, I can't hate it. I'm sorry I don't hate it. But Mac Jones, just not it. That's not the guy. But fantasy football, second quarterback, a third quarterback. To me, I think this pick, and I'm going to tell you why I think it's a bad pick. I'm going to tell you why this ain't it. You already had 2 quarterbacks. You have 2 quarterbacks that are the face of their franchises. You have 2 quarterbacks that mean more to that team than any player on the team, and that any 3 players could go before that player goes. Okay? You didn't need another quarterback. It doesn't hurt to have one. But the fact of the matter is that after he went, you had some exciting rookie quarterbacks go. You had some dependable, exciting. You had Richardson go, right? You had Young go to to the Panthers and play for Tom's team. There were other guys out there that you could have waited on, and Mac Jones just sucks, dude. And I hate to say it, I'm a New England fan. Mac Jones sucks ass. I don't even want him play. I don't want him starting the season. I want Zappy starting the season. He's even got a cool name, Zappy Hour. You know what I'm saying? I was all aboard the fucking Mac Jones bandwagon when they drafted him. First round quarterback, similar style of Brady, high IQ, doesn't take hits, doesn't run with the ball, doesn't try to fucking put the ball where it doesn't go. But you know what? We don't have receivers. We don't have running back. We got nothing going for us pretty much at all besides Ramondre Stevenson, and that's a running back who doesn't do Mac Jones very much good, although he is a great pass-catching back. I don't think Mac Jones will ever start on your team unless it's a bye week. I think you start Mac Jones. I think you might trade him before you start him. There's just no – at that point, you still could have had DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin. I even would have taken Sam Howell, Jimmy Garoppolo, Mike Evans, Dalvin Cook. I know that's, it's splitting hairs again. You needed a second tight end. You took one the next round. You could have had Pat Freiermuth. You took Dalton Schultz. Those went in the same exact round. Dalton Schultz is on Houston. If he was still in Dallas, Dalton Schultz would be a top 5 tight end. He kicked ass in Dallas, and I can't imagine what fucking universe these fucking Jerry Jones, this geriatric fucking atrophied retard. I can't fucking imagine what goes through your head when you let your franchise running back go, which I don't disagree with. I love Tony Pollard in that system, especially for the difference in contract that you have to pay one or the other. But the fact that you let Dalton Schultz go, on top of that, the dude was like their sole offense outside of CeeDee Lamb. The guy's a fucking baller. He will not be a baller in Houston because Houston sucks goat scrodes. That's a fact. That is not an opinion. Okay? So at that pick, Mac Jones, I think, is a bad pick. On a scale of 1 to 100, I give you a 50 only because it's 2 QB league. If it was your first quarterback in a redraft league, I would have given you a fucking 5. I don't like him. He's a dirty player. He's a crybaby. He's slow as shit, and he's got a weak arm. You already had 2 fucking ballers. You didn't need him there. Next pick, Dalton Schultz. Again, as far as you did need a second tight end, I agree that a lot of people think tight ends don't matter. That's not the case because if yours gets hurt, you still got to fucking start one. So having a backup is important. I would have rather had Kemet. I would have rather had Everett. I would have had Freiermuth, Kincaid, Higbee, and Njoku. I almost would have rather had almost every tight end that went after him. Again, here's the deal, though, and I can't shit on you for that pick at all. I'm not going to hit you with the buzzer because at the same time, we're talking about a guy who was an elite player that flew under the radar at that position, and he played for Dallas, a team that everybody loves to take shit on, whether the players are doing good or bad. It's how did they ruin their season? Okay, so Dalton Schultz, I'm not gonna give you a negative mark on. Deontay Johnson, again, this is an ADP game, and if you play the ADP, you got him way down there, and his ADP is his ADP is 58, and you got him way down there. You got him at you got him at like 100 picks later than he should have went. If Kenny Pickett has even a 25% increase in productivity and Deontay Johnson has a 25% decrease in drop balls, at that ADP, that is a fantastic pick, considering you have question marks at Judy and Olave with a very high upside. There's high hopes there. But the reason you got them where they got them is because you're expecting him to do better than last year. Okay. So then we're going to go to A.J. Dillon. Listen, where you got him, though. Well, where you got him was 15, 14, 13th round. You got him in the 13th round. That's not a bad pick for the 13th round. A lot of guys are going off the board where you see people looking on their phone, who do I pick next? Who do I pick next? Looking through the sheet. That's the guy that wound up in a timeshare with let me see who got this motherfucker. Aaron Jones, who he also went surprisingly late too. Green Bay running backs went very, 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 very late in this draft, and I think both of those players are going to give benefits to the people that drafted them at the point that they drafted them. Aaron Jones was a first-round pick in the past 3 drafts I was in, and then A.J. Dillon came in and took a lot of his touches away. He is a vulture. He'll let Aaron Jones do the grunt work to get fucking 6 points by getting 60 yards down the field. And then he'll walk in, score a touchdown, and they get the same 6 points that Aaron Jones got with half of the physical abuse. So that pick, I give that 100. That's a great pick. You got Gallup. Listen, here's the deal. After Amari Cooper left, you had big shoes to fill. And CeeDee Lamb filled them, but who's going to be the second guy? And now you don't have Dalton Schultz. I think Michael Gallup finally has, because he's shown flashes of being great. I think this is the year. I think Michael Gallup has a nice year this year, and getting him with the 14th pick is great. I'm not going to go into defenses or kickers right now because it is what it is. You got to start them. Although this league does have defensive bonuses. I'm not sure if you guys really studied up on the point values of that. I'm really stuck in my ways. I'll never really justify taking a defense before the 10th round. It's just not how I play. And there's years where I've regretted it because, there's years with the defensive bonuses where your defense, like New England defense 2 years ago and last year, was elite, was giving 35, sometimes 40 points per game. Hey, Chappie. Oh. You guys say hi. Chappie. Yep. Hey, what's that? All right. So, all in all, I'm going to go ahead and give Ryan your draft. I'm going to give a B- with an A- upside. You're really, 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 really kind of in need of a few things that are very possible. You need Dameon Pierce to be a top 12 guy. And he can be, because he is pretty much all they got going on offense. You need Russell Wilson and not sucking Jerry Jeudy to be healthy, which I think is possible. It hasn't been seen yet, but it is possible. Those two things happen, and you're in the driver's seat. Same thing with Javonte Williams too. You're banking on two things: Dameon Pierce being a top 12 guy, and the Broncos not being terrible. The Broncos are in a rough division. I will say that, but it doesn't matter for fantasy. You could go 0-16 if you run into a fucking buzzsaw like Pat Mahomes or Justin Herbert. Twice a year, you're just not going to have a good time in general. But at least they could shit on the Raiders this year. That shouldn't be difficult. So yeah, you're definitely banking on Denver getting better and Pierce having a big season and Olave having a big season too. That's important. I think you're very, very, very safe with Jackson Fields, Hawkinson. I think you're very safe with Deontay Johnson where you got him, Gallup where you got him, Dillon where you got him. You know, you didn't have a bad draft. You did good, man. Your first year is pretty fucking solid. So I'm going to give you a B- at eye level, but, you know, with the upside of an A-, maybe an A. I mean, if Lamar plays the way he's played the last several years and Justin Fields plays the way he played at his best last year, everybody's fucked because you're going to put up more than half your team's points on two players, that's why you have the strategy of taking QB, because you know what? You can take a massive shit on the board, and as long as you get a couple starters, your floor is rock solid. So nice job. Nice job, Ryan. So now I'm going to skip around. I'm going to jump over to Kenford. Who didn't show up. So I'm gonna kind of rip through his lineup a little bit. I think I can only do 1 hour at a time for YouTube videos. We're at minute 40, so I might have to make this a series thing. Also, at some point, a dude's got to shit and or jerk off and or eat several boxes of macaroni and cheese. In any case, so Kenford, we're going to go with Kenford right now. All right, so Kenford, first pick, and in the draft, he was 5th overall. First pick, which he used no help from me in, just on his own took Saquon Barkley, which after last year, you could fight it. You could say, yeah, sure. But would I have taken Barkley over Chase? I would not have. Hill, nope. Hurts, nope. Eckler, nope. Kelsey, nope. Jackson, nope. Kupp, nope. Burrow, nope. Fields, nope. Chubb, nope. Diggs, nope. Derrick Henry, nope. Najee Harris, nope. Pollard, nope. Herbert, nope. Lamb, nope. I would say the entire second round was better than your first round pick. Not going to lie. Now I'm splitting hairs on several of those players, but there's no world that going into 2023 that I'm taking Barkley over Chase, Hill, Ertz, Eckler, Kelsey, Jackson, Kupp, Burrow, Fields, or Chubb, or Diggs. I'm just not. Those guys are going first. There's just too much more of a steady body of work, a higher ceiling. I've been burned by Saquon a lot of times, man. I don't like the Giants, and it always kind of bothers me to have a Giant on my team, but I did it after his rookie year, and he did nothing but fuck me like for several years. And then last year he was pretty great, but you know, the way he acted in the offseason and everything like that shows there might be some tumultuation. I don't know. I just don't know. I definitely would not have taken him 5th overall. So you know, for that pick, yeah, Saquon Barkley. I don't think I'm splitting hairs there. You got a great player, but you could have gotten him 7, 8 picks later. Then you got Najee Harris. Okay, so that's a weird pick. Not for you. He's a fantasy anomaly in his own right. For the simple fact that he came into the league and he was there basically to fill James Conner's shoes, who had success after Le'Veon Bell, despite being two completely different style players. He's playing on the post-Bell, post-Antonio Brown, post-Juju team. And he had flashes, but he was one of those guys that as a rookie with no tangible evidence of what he was doing. Did I just do a Kai? Of what he was doing in the NFL, he was going fucking sky high in drafts in 2021 and 2022 just because of game script. Because Roethlisberger doesn't have it anymore, and the next year you had a fucking rookie. Because who the fuck are you going to throw it to? Deontay Johnson can't catch the ball. Antonio Brown's not there. Le'Veon Bell's gone. Who is there even left to give the ball to? But with that game script, he did nothing. And when I say nothing, if he's the guy that went in the 14th round and gave you those numbers, I'd be thanking my lucky stars. He'd be a fucking league winner. But the fact of the matter that you had to take him between rounds 1 and 3 to get him, and he gave you nothing back and got hurt a few times. I don't see it, man. I don't see it. For the ADP, let's see what you got on the ADP for Najee. All right, ADP 22. So you reached to get him too. Again, after you got him, and then after him, you could have had Tony Pollard. I would have rather had Tony Pollard. You could have had Josh Jacobs. If I'm not mistaken, I think Josh Jacobs finished like the rushing champion last year. Am I crazy? Like, this guy's a baller. Sure, he's having a contract dispute. Someone's gonna fucking pay the guy. He's gonna play. Although, we're talking about a Steeler, and Le'Veon had that one season where he didn't play when he could have. He was a healthy scratch every game because he was protesting his contract. So who knows with Jacobs? But I'd rather have Joe Mixon. I'd rather have Travis Etienne. I'd rather have Ramondre Stevenson. Shit, I might rather have Dameon Pierce. There's enough other options in Pittsburgh where if Najee is just not the guy that they told us he was, that you can score points in another way. Especially when you got George Pickens on the team too. So you got weapons all over the place, man. There's not a heck of a lot to worry about if you ain't stepping up about someone else getting the ball. It's not like Derrick Henry's not having a good game in Tennessee. He has 8 yards in the fourth quarter, and they still hand it off to him another 10 times. You know what I'm saying? It's a bad pick. So to start 1-2, I give your picks a 60 and a 40. Not good. Garrett Wilson, it's your third pick. You got him at right where his ADP is. But again, I ask you, when is the last time an offensive player on the New York Jets had any impact in any fantasy team at all? And I defy you to tell me that you've seen a Jet that has changed the fucking game, that has been a league winner, that has been in every week you gotta fucking start him. Because it ain't happened. We've heard it about plenty of other guys, and it just has never happened. Now, I get it. You have Aaron Rodgers. You have a stout defense. You have a better team. This is a different Jets than we're used to. So do I say it's a bad pick? No. I do not say it's a bad pick. But I would say you could have had Amon-Ra St. Brown. You could have had Chris Olave. You could have had Devontae Adams, Jalen Waddle. Shit, your next pick I would have rather had. You could have had T. Higgins, Amari Cooper, Stephen Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins. It's just too much of a risk for me when you go Barkley Harris to go Garrett Wilson next. So, I mean, your first 3 picks. Yeah. Your first 3 picks are doo-doo. Man, this is not good. This is not a good start. All right. So, we're going to move on. Sorry, I lost my sound effect. Yeah, your first 3 picks. Three big X's right there. All right. Now you got Deebo Samuel. Now you're talking. Now you're cooking. Now you're starting to work with the draft. But this is, again, you weren't there. I don't expect you to have a great draft. You were at a distinct disadvantage. And the person that you had as your liaison, I don't think he's got enough of a brain for 2 people. I think that the brain he has rattles around in his head already. Ian. Although you could tell he knew what he was doing for his team. He did show you 0 love on your team. But despite your first 3 rounds, your next 3 rounds definitely showed some fucking hope. Deebo Samuel, multifaceted player, gets lined up in the slot as a wideout, as a quarterback, as a running back. The dude does it all. Listen, you have kind of a quarterback that you don't really know what's going on, but the guy went 7-1 last year. He can't be that bad. You're talking about a guy that's played in big games, that's fast, that's strong, that's smart, that has sure hands. I love Deebo Samuel. A little bit of an injury concern, but you can't worry about all that. So Deebo Samuel, that's your first good pick versus your ADP. 2 QB league, Aaron Rodgers, love the pick. Love getting Aaron Rodgers in the 5th round, man. because before him, a couple quarterbacks that weren't as good as him went before him. Matt Stafford went before him. You're looking at a good pick there. I like Aaron Rodgers a lot. You need a quarterback. You kind of need two. You got him and you got Garoppolo. I think Garoppolo for a QB2 on a super flex team is a pretty damn good pick. If he was your first quarterback, I'd be very scared, but he's not. You have Aaron Rodgers, and you don't have to start a second quarterback, but with this lineup, you will be starting two quarterbacks. Dallas Goedert, like him a lot. He is one of the top receiving options. He has a great rapport with Jalen Hurts. I think he's one of the more premier elite backs in the league. I think what kind of held him back a little bit was that he could have had some really impactful, great years when he was playing behind Zach Ertz. So if it weren't for Zach Ertz, I think that he would have gotten a lot more love. I think he would have gotten a lot more looks. I think he would have learned the game a little bit better and played with more conventional quarterbacks, i.e., Carson Wentz and Nick Foles, catching a lot of balls instead of having to block for your running quarterback. So I think having Hurts as a quarterback kind of hurts his value in the sense that he might be a blocker more often than you like to see him be. But the guy has great hands. He's a constant end zone target. I see him getting 7 targets a game. I see him catching no less than 5 balls a game. I see him getting a touchdown at least every other game. I think that's a great pick for your first tight end and for getting him as late as you did. You got Christian Kirk with the upstart Jacksonville Jaguars. I love Trevor Lawrence this year. Trevor Lawrence is a very real candidate to win the fucking MVP. And if you think I'm crazy and you think I'm being a homer just because I picked him from my team, keep this in mind. The year before, the team was in fucking turmoil. The coach was physically assaulting players and sexually harassing people on camera outside of the game. Okay, they were trying to capture this fucking Clemson Trevor Lawrence where he's got to run with the ball instead of throwing with it. The guy took one of the biggest steps I have ever in my life seen a quarterback take from year 1 to year 2. This is a winner. This is a man who is a smart player. This is a guy with a fucking good arm, a good eye, a high IQ that can scramble and has weapons to spare. And a great running back to keep teams honest with Travis Etienne. So having one of his receivers, because he's going to be more like a Drew Brees or a Tom Brady type quarterback. He's not going to have a guy. He's not going to have a go-to. I think similar to Joe Burrow, where there's games where Tyler Boyd is going to outscore Higgins and Chase sometimes combined. A great quarterback finds the open guy and doesn't worry what the fucking name on the back of his jersey is, and I think that helps Christian Kirk. I think that helps the Jaguars. I see the Jaguars making the playoffs, and keep in mind, they almost beat the Chiefs at home in the playoffs last year. Yes, you don't get a trophy for almost, but you do get a vote of confidence for your next year. Okay, now you got Jimmy Garoppolo, another good pick. We already talked about it. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, don't like him. The guy's been a fucking bum. Literally since he came into the fucking league. High hope. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think if you had a fucking monster draft and there wasn't an Isaiah Pacheco on the same team, all right, you got a liar late. Dude, that was a desperation pick. You went 1-2 running back, and you took 2 fucking guys that I don't trust as far as I can throw, and then you took a guy who has sucked, who has sucked shit for 10 bricks for every fucking season he's played. You got the 49ers defense, that's great. You got the second best kicker in the league, that's great. You got Juju, who can only be better this year than his past, previous few years. Maybe having a shittier quarterback will help him, because you got to kind of like Pat Mahomes isn't impressed that your name's Juju. Okay. Like Pat Mahomes ain't going to throw to you because you were pretty good in Pittsburgh. Mac Jones will throw to you because you were pretty good 3 years ago in Pittsburgh, so that could help. I think at where you got him, that's a good pick. Kenneth Gainwell. I had high hopes for him last year. I'm not drafting him, but where you got him, again, you got him at the appropriate time. Same thing with Ritter. Same thing with Thielen. Thielen, I think what's going to hold him back is quarterback play, but getting out of Minnesota helps him because Justin Jefferson coming to town fucked everything up for him. He was a de facto wide receiver one on that team in the 1 year that Diggs and Jefferson weren't there. So you got a lot of question marks there, man. And I don't have a ton of confidence in a lot of them. Your first 3 rounds, I think you did abysmal. Your next 4 or 5, your next 5 rounds, I think you made really good picks in your next 5 rounds. Overall, I give you a D plus with a C plus upside. I think that if you had to roll with the team that you have right now throughout the whole end of the year without making any trades, I don't see you making the playoffs. Not with the rest of what I see on the board. Now, I do see 2 teams that are worse than yours. I will tell you that. So I believe the video is going to cut off in the next 3 minutes or so. I think 1 hour is the limit. So I'm going to have to break this into probably a 4-part series. If any of you guys want to watch me talk for 4 hours, have no fear. I can do that. But Kenford, yeah, man, D plus with a C plus upside. And for the upside to happen, you need Najee Harris to do what he was supposed to do for the last 2 years and hasn't. You need Barkley to have a career year. You need a New York Jet wide receiver to finish in the top 15 overall, which has never happened. Deebo Samuel, so like I said, these next picks I think are pretty safe. Goddard, Rogers, Samuel, Kirk, and Garoppolo. I think for where you got them, I think you're safe. I think you're safe at defense. I think you're safe at kicker. Your end of round value, you got some good value picks, but again, you got good value picks in the last 4 rounds, and you shit the bed on the first 4. A lot of people will tell you don't win a fantasy draft in the first 4 rounds. You win it in the middle rounds, but that's under the guise that you didn't completely butt fuck yourself in the first few rounds. Now, who knows? It's fantasy football. I might be eating my words by the end of the year. Who knows? McCaffrey, Eckler, Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Jacobs, and Mixon all might end up hurt in the first fucking 6 weeks. And Saquon winds up the de facto number 1. Same thing with Najee. Najee has the game script to fucking take over. The fact of the matter is they tried to franchise tag Barkley, not because he's the face of the franchise, because clearly they think more of Daniel Jones. And you know what? Considering the fact that a nerdy white motherfucker won you 2 Super Bowls against the greatest dynasty in the history of sports, that might be the right horse to bet on. Barkley ain't getting any younger. Najee hasn't done what he's supposed to do. Wilson's a Jet. Hate those picks. Like the rest. Could have been worse. But then again, you weren't there, so I'll give you a little bit of I won't shit on you too much for that. But at the same time, honestly, just not great picks. So I am going to I'm going to go smoke a cigarette right now. I'm going to give you guys a little intermission, try to recover from all this. And when I come back, if it's still recording, we'll hop right back into it. And if it is not still recording, then I'm going to save this for tomorrow and then do another video then. Moment of truth. All right, let's see. Just cut me off. No, I can still go. All right. Well, I certainly don't want to do all 12 teams, but I lied, by the way. I went to take a piss and then I realized that maybe let me see. Let me check to see if I got any time left on this thing. So I will be reviewing the rest of you guys. Maybe I'll give another 2 teams, maybe another 3, and then we'll do a half and half kind of thing. So I will be going to smoke that cigarette. I'll leave you with some music to listen to. And then after that, we're gonna jump into let's do Reeves. No homo. Let's do Reeves team. And then a couple more, you guys. Yes, you are. I will be right back. And in the interim, I will be leaving you with what am I gonna leave you with? What am I gonna leave you with? Leave you with some NWA. Be right back. All right, we're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. As promised, we're going to tackle Reeves' team now. Now, last time I checked, Reeves' team was kind of middle of the pack. Good. This draft featured, I think, 2 distinctively great drafts. A lot of good drafts, some surprisingly good drafts, some very good drafts, and some very bad drafts. I can look at this board and tell you who the bottom 3 teams are going to be. And I've already tackled one of them. Sorry, Ken. Yeah, it's fantasy, bro. I'm not gonna hype you up on a team that you took a shit on the board and you didn't even have the respect to do it in person. So I regret nothing. So now we're gonna go with Reeves. All right. Reeves started with Jamar Chase, overall, number 1. On a scale of 1 to 100, got to give you 100 because you didn't fuck up your first pick. You took a guy with a high ADP. In a redraft league without quarterbacks, you're looking at a 3 ADP. You got 6th. So not bad. Love the pick. Love the player. Love the team. Love the offense. Love the game script. The one thing I don't love is how high you have to take them when you have T. Higgins on the same team. People sleep on T. Higgins. T. Higgins had more fantasy points than last year. Now, granted, Jamar Chase missed a ton of games. Now, Jamar Chase has about the highest ceiling for a wide receiver in the league. He's up there with Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill, and Justin Jefferson. Only those 4 guys. CeeDee Lamb is on the fringe. But only those 4 guys are capable of putting up like a 50-point fantasy game, like just dropping a fucking bomb on your opponent. And that's Jamar Chase is. He's a guy he's going to give you 40 points like a bunch of times. But there's going to be weeks where he gets you like 12 because he's draped by the top defensive guy. But he does have an elite wide receiver on the other end of the field that keeps defenses honest. You can only double team him so much. You can only put so much defense on him without sacrificing. Even Tyler Boyd, too. You know, you have an electric, high-powered offense. Having any Cincinnati Bengal on that team is a great pick to have. But having the guy with the highest ceiling, it's a great pick. It's a great pick. I'm just being liberal here. I'm playing the devil's advocate. I'm trying to see both sides of it. Me, personally, I wouldn't take him just because I love T. Higgins so much, and I'd rather Higgins in the 5th or 6th than Chase in the 1st. But you got an elite, high-end player that, if he stays healthy, could give you 380 fucking points. I'm pretty sure. I believe I just checked, and it was somewhere around like 327. Now, the thing that's scary about that is they're projecting him 120 points. I think it was 347, and last year he had 227. So projecting somebody 120 points higher is like saying he's going to get average 8 points a game more. Now, hopefully he doesn't average 8 points a game more. Hopefully he plays 8 more games. Like the pick. Your second pick, dude. Your second pick is dirty. It's dirty because you only got him because Tito fucked up. Tito wanted Derrick Henry. Tito doesn't know sports the way we know sports. And because of my reverse integrity for fantasy, where you don't fucking help someone from shooting themselves in the foot, I let it happen. I don't regret letting it happen because I got burned many a times. I drafted the wrong C. Johnson the year that Chris Johnson had 2,000 fucking yards. I got laughed. I said, I'm going to leave. I'm going to fucking walk out. But they already had my money, so I just stayed and played anyway. I drafted Dennis Pitta in 2013. He didn't play a single fucking game. All right? I've drafted guys. I drafted Jordy Nelson, and he got hurt during the draft, and he missed the whole fucking season. Shitty picks happen, and the benefactor of that is Reeves. Because Reeves got Derrick Henry when he had no business getting Derrick Henry in the second fucking round of that pick. That is a great pick, and it's a pick of opportunity. It's a pick of dirtiness, but that's what the league is all about. You play dirty, you fight hard, or you ain't fucking trying to win. Period. Straight up. End of story. Good first 2 picks. Dak Prescott, number 3. Love it. Love the pick. Listen, this is fantasy football. This isn't real life. In real life, Dak Prescott loses games. In real life, in the clutch, their offensive coordinator picks the wrong fucking play. But in real life, that's a combined like 4 minutes of the entire fucking season. That's one play in the NFC Championship or the NFC Divisional or the NFC Semi. During the year, Dak Prescott is fully capable of throwing 500 yards multiple times. Dak Prescott might throw 3 interceptions, but he might throw 3 touchdowns. So for the -2, plus 6, plus 6, plus 6, plus the 400 plus fucking yards with a healthy fucking squad, losing Dalton Schultz, I think, sucks. But Tony Pollard is a great pass-catching back, and I think there's a lot of upside there for Dak Prescott in fantasy football. So, scale of 1 to 100. With Chase, I give you 100. With Henry, I give you 100. With Prescott, I give you 100. Okay, you took you did take Prescott before Trevor Lawrence, which thank you. I would have rather had Trevor Lawrence, but I could see why you. It's splitting hairs. So good pick. Travis Etienne Jr. with your 4th pick, dude. You got another RB1. You got 2 RB1s, a wide receiver 1, and a possible QB 1 in the first 4 rounds. You slayed the first fucking quarter of your draft, young man, and I'm proud of you. That is some good fucking picks right there. I love me some Travis Etienne Jr. I hate it when fucking, what's his face? Robinson, fucking James Robinson. I love James Robinson, right? And when Etienne came in, I'm like, this fucking jerk off Etienne's going to eat his carries. And then guess what? James Robinson got hurt. Etienne took over. Etienne is one of the most electric, elusive, talented, best field vision, awesome fucking back. This guy will win you fucking games. If you're down by 19 points going into Monday Night Football, your opponent has nobody, and you have Travis Etienne, you're thinking you're going to win that game. And that is a massive upside to have. In a redraft league, I think he could go as high as a 2nd rounder. So your first quarter of your draft, first quarter of your draft, bro, you fucking killed it, and it gets even better. With your 5th pick, you got Amari Cooper, right? So you took an elite, top-tier wide receiver with your 1st pick, and the general rule of thumb is your strategy should be one of the following. Load up on the position you love and go back-to-back, i.e. wide receiver, or, Chappie, what are you doing? Why are you sniffing your ass? Pretty sure my dog has to take a shit. So I'm going to do Reeves. Yeah. I'm going to do Reeves, no homo, and then I'm going to go walk my dog. And that's going to be the end of this video. Chappie, get down. I got you. Give me 5 minutes, Chappie. You're a good boy. Hey, down. Lay down. Hey. Bark. Good boy. Get. All right. So, sorry to break up the love fest with you, Reeves. Amari Cooper has been nothing but consistent since Oakland. In Oakland, for some reason, he had fucking stone hands and couldn't catch a fucking thing, even though his numbers said otherwise. But he's a guy that you would target 150 times and he would catch 80 balls. Now, to put into perspective, at the same time, laterally, Michael Thomas was getting 190 targets and catching 170 of them. All right? So there was something wrong there, right? And since then, when he went to Dallas, he was a fucking beast. And it blows my mind that Dallas would let him go. When you're getting CeeDee Lamb for nothing, you're getting a rookie contract in CeeDee Lamb, you could have had a monster star and the next big fucking thing lined up side by side. You don't have to worry about Ezekiel Elliott and his fucking and his degrading. And that loss was Cleveland's game because he's done really well in Cleveland. And I think getting a Deshaun Watson, throwing him the ball, taking Kareem Hunt off of the team, okay? Taking Odell off the team, taking all the fucking other guys that could have been anything off the team, and putting Amari Cooper there only makes him better. I think it's going to be a big, big, big year for Amari Cooper. And that round, I remember, I forget who the fuck I said it to my buddy Matt that was sitting at the bar. I said, this round, I'm taking either Higgins, Cooper, or Ridley. And literally, 3 out of the next 4 picks were Higgins, Cooper, and Ridley. So I'm jealous of your pick. I don't hate the fact that I wound up with Hopkins because of it. But if you fucking hit me with some truth serum and said, who would you rather have, Amari Cooper or DeAndre Hopkins, even though Hopkins is my favorite wide receiver of the 2010s, even though Michael Thomas won me 2 championships and Hopkins only won me 1, Hopkins is my guy. I love Hopkins. I love his swagger. I love his attitude. I love his style of play. I love his balls. No homo. But I would rather have Amari Cooper. I said it. So, Reeves, your pick so far, 5 for 5. You fucking killed it. Now you took your second quarterback. You took Brock Purdy. Let's see where you got him. Okay. I don't hate your pick. I also don't love it. And I'm going to tell you why. It's not that I don't like Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy is going to have a great year. I think he has plenty of weapons, and I think that if he can't get the ball to those weapons, he's got a Christian McCaffrey in the backfield that can make – it's one of those things where you throw him a 1-yard pass, and then he runs 45 yards, he gets a touchdown, and you get the 6 points and the 4.5 points. So I think there's like built-in help for you there with Brock Purdy. I don't think Brock Purdy is a bad pick, but I do think taking him before Jared Goff in a top 3 offense in the Detroit Lions last year. Derek Carr, I like Carr a lot more than Purdy. You're throwing him on the fucking Saints, and you're giving him Olave, Michael Thomas, and Alvin Kamara. I think that's about the only guy that I would take ahead of him. So not a bad pick. On a scale of 1 to 100, I'll give you an 80 on that one. You know, I think you took one of the 3 best quarterbacks you could have had. I think that maybe you missed out on you really didn't miss out on a lot in those other rounds. So I'm not even going to shit on you for that pick. Not bad. James Conner, that's a risk. Don't like him. He will surely see more action with Hopkins not on the team. Ertz is 1 foot in the fucking grave as far as the NFL is concerned. So he's going to have to be a focal point of offense on that team. So for getting a running back that late in the game when you already have Etienne and Henry, not bad. Still only give you about a 70 for that pick. Sam Howell, that's a good pick. I like that. 3 quarterbacks this early, I think that's a bit excessive. I don't think that you needed to do that. I think you could have strengthened your core somewhere else. Also, you didn't have any tight ends up to this point. So the fact that you took Purdy where you did, maybe you could have used Goddard. But you took Howell, who's not a bad pick, but for your 3rd, you could have had Terry McLaurin, DJ Moore, Tyler Lockett. You could have had some good picks there. There were some other good picks out there. Mike Evans, you know. To take 3rd quarterback and not have it be a no-brainer, you probably won't start the fucking guy. Be honest. It's going to be a battle between Purdy and Howell for who gets your 2nd QB spot. But, you know, again, not bad. George Pickens, for where you got him, nice pick. That guy has all the potential in the world, depending on that offensive line, depending on Najee Harris being able to keep offenses honest. Because why would you ever blitz if Najee Harris played like Najee Harris played last year? Just fucking sell out the run because he's not that good and double up on Pickens. You know, I think Pickens is an electric talent. It really depends on where Kenny Pickett goes this year. He's my 2nd quarterback, which is fucking terrifying for me. So I'm hoping that Pickens has a great year, but I don't know. But where you got him, it's not bad. Kincaid as your only tight end. Kincaid as your only tight end, brother. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what to say about that, man. That's your only tight end. And granted, it's the least important position in the game. But, bro, Kincaid ain't it. Kincaid ain't it. He could be good. We'll see, but I don't know, man. Josh Allen is a smart guy. He spreads the ball around a lot. You got Gabe Davis. You got Stephon Diggs. You got him rushing the ball himself. You got a rookie running back. I just don't know. And for your only tight end, I definitely don't like it. So that's a bad pick to me. For where you got him, no. But for it to be your only, man, that's a rough one, dude. I would have taken Everett Kemet. I would have taken Woods Higbee. I would have taken almost every other tight end except that one. But what are you going to do? You slate it in the running back position, which is, you know, stereotypically the most important in the game. You got a great quarterback. You have a great receiver core. So, fuck it, throw that out the window. Badgley, Cowboys, who cares? You got Flowers, Michael Pittman Jr., Nakeem Hines. Nakeem Hines is always a guy that winds up getting picked up off the waiver wire anyway. You just struck while the iron's hot. Our waiver wire is abysmal, so I wouldn't really do anything. And God forbid, hey, the starting fucking running back for Buffalo goes down. Hines is going to be there. Hines is going to be there to vulture shit anyway. Do I think he's a weekly starter? No, but I think that he is great for the last round of the draft, considering how strong you are at that position. You just build depth. So looking at your team, I'm going to say at wide receiver, you are very strong. At running back, you're very strong. At quarterback, you're good. Tight end is a disaster for you. And then also you got Michael Pittman Jr. too. So say this fucking guy Richardson is good. I mean, Michael Pittman might actually have a good year. He has shown flashes of straight up fucking brilliance. He is one of the premier talents in this league. And he has only been held back by getting fucking quarterbacks in their last year before they retire, throwing them the fucking ball. So having said all that, I'm going to give your draft. I'm going to give it a B plus. I'm going to put it as an A upside. Okay, so B plus at face value, and that's what your shitty tight ends. That's with too many quarterbacks when two of them are mediocre. But you slayed two of the biggest positions. You got a great starter at quarterback. So B plus at worst. I say you're definitely in the fringe of a playoff spot. Of the teams I reviewed so far, I like your team more than Ryan's. I like your team more than Kenford's. I don't like it as much as Ian's, but it's up there. I think you have a potential to have a rock-solid team in a big-time year. If Amari Cooper builds a rapport with Deshaun Watson, which I think he will do, if Derrick Henry can stay healthy, which I hope he does because I love watching the man play, James Conner has a big year, and you have so much equity at running back, you could fucking literally trade Derrick Henry tomorrow and go ahead and go get yourself a Mark Andrews or a TJ Hawkinson. So all in all, I say B plus with an A at the upside. All right. So now I'm going to do one more. So we just have an even 6 and 6 for the, for our videos. So with my 6th, I have left Cusack, Casey, Sonny, Tommy, Tito, Tom, and myself. Where do I want to go? I don't want to do me yet. That's for when I log off. Could do Tito. Let's go with one of the first 4 picks. We've really focused more on the back end of things. So let's go with Sonny. I'm going to go with Sonny. So first pick, Sonny takes Justin Jefferson, which how could you shit on that pick? If it was a redraft league, he probably would have gone first or second. But in no ADP that you could look up that is not a 2 QB league, would Jefferson not be number 1, number 2, or number 3? You got him at number 3. You got him at the perfect time. So good. 10 out of 10. 100 out of 100. Pick number 2. You got Tony Pollard. I honestly thought he was coming back to me in the 3rd round. It's the only reason I didn't take him. I love Tony Pollard. I think he's going to have a monster year. You have no Ezekiel Elliott. You have a fan base that is ravenous. Everybody's low on Dak. You're a pass-catching back. You're a great runner. You have youth, talent, vision, and game script all on your side. Can't shit on that pick because you went wide receiver first, so I'll negate every other wide receiver. I fully believe in balancing a team out where you might be able to get someone better than who you're going to take at your ADP, but you need to strengthen other positions. I think you got a rock-solid, locked and loaded, stardom every week, RB1 and Tony Pollard. Now, you could have had Jacobs or Mixon after. You could have had Jacobs or Mixon or Etienne or Stevenson. I don't think any of those guys are better in fantasy to the point where I would shit on your pick, so I'm going to give you another 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100, all right? You got Kirk Cousins, with your 3rd pick. QBs are important in this league. That's why I had to jump on one. That's why I had to get a QB in the 3rd round. I wasn't planning on doing that shit unless I got Jalen Hurts in the 1st round. I said, if I don't get Hurts in the 1st round, I'm not going for a quarterback until the 8th or 9th. And then I totally fucking recanted and took Lawrence in the 3rd. You took Cousins in the 3rd. You drafted before me. You took him before Prescott. Okay, I could see that. You took him before Watson. I could see that. That's a question mark. I personally would have taken Lawrence, but that's me. So not a bad pick. Quarterbacks are important. You got one in the third round, and you fucking balled out in the first 2 rounds. So as far as fantasy goes, you have a potential top three, a wide receiver, and in a PPR league, which this is, a top three running back. You also got now you also have the Cousins Jefferson stack. So literally every single time Cousins throws a touchdown to Jefferson, which will be often, you get 12 points automatically, sans the yardage, sans any bonuses. So that's a monster thing to have. Justin Jefferson has 2 touchdowns in a game. You're already looking at a bare minimum of 24 points between the two. Once you add on yardage and things like that, a 2-touchdown game from Jefferson looks like probably you're leaning close to 50 to 60 point floor between those two guys. So I like that. I like that move. You have Christian Watson on Green Bay. I'm nervous about that pick, and I can't say that I love that pick. That's the first pick of yours that I just don't like. He played awesome last year. He was the fucking G. He was the story of the fucking year. At the end of the year, with Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball. Now we got Derek Love throwing him the ball. We don't know what he can do. We don't know if he can air it out. We don't know if he's going to use his legs. We don't know if he's going to be a guy that can throw bombs or if he's going to be more of a fucking dink and dunk guy. We don't know. And I think taking him with your 4th pick when you could have had, you could have had Devonta Smith, T. Higgins, Amari Cooper, Stephen Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, Jerry Jeudy, DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin. I'm not buying Watson being higher than those guys. I'm sorry. There's just not enough of a body of work, nor is there a body of work for the quarterback. I think you really shit the bed on that pick. I'm not going to lie. Not that I think he's not great. But that's 3 fucking thumbs down, my brother. I'm going to tell you why, just for the things I just said. There's no world where I would rather have him than Devonta Smith or T. Higgins or Amari Cooper, Stephen Ridley. I'd probably even take Keenan Allen over him. I would definitely take Hopkins over him. I'd probably rather roll the dice on Jeudy, especially for the fact that I could have gotten him 3 rounds later. I don't like that pick at all, but hey, you started off really fucking strong. Now, you got Aaron Jones with the next pick, which to me is that's a big question mark. But I love the pick. I see him as the RB1 on that team. Yes, A.J. Dillon does shark him. Yes, they do end up in a fucking timeshare for no goddamn reason whatsoever. Aaron Jones is far superior of the talent, a better pass catcher, a bigger body, a stronger runner. I love Aaron Jones. I hate that A.J. Dillon is on that team. A.J. Dillon is like fantasy fucking cancer to anybody that I defy anybody that has ever had Aaron Jones to have a positive thing to say about A.J. Dillon, because he's done nothing for the Packers, but he's done everything to fuck over Aaron Jones. But this is the 5th round, and you already have Tony Pollard. So I love the pick, because I think at worst, he'll be a flex RB3, but I think more realistically, you're going to be starting him as your RB2. I like that. And then what do we got after that? Then you got Jared Goff. That's a great pick, dude. To be honest, you could fight that Goff should have went before Kirk Cousins. People have this like weird thing about Jared Goff because he couldn't throw it real far, or he lost to Pat Mahomes, or Matt Stafford took a job and won a Super Bowl right away. But like, dude, he's really fucking good. And the Lions had a top offense last year. They were ranked top 3 in all of. They might have been number 1. They had a sick offense. Goff had a sick year. And in a 2 QB league, you got him in the 6th round. My brother, that's a killer pick. That's an awesome pick. That's a great fucking pick. And that is one that you won't regret, nor will you be easy or quick to trade him. So now we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds in. I love 5 of your 6 picks, bro. You're killing this fucking draft. Who's this fucking guy? Miles Sanders, right? Who's he on top? Fucking Carolina? Miles Sanders. All right, so now the exact opposite of Kenford's draft. You fucking slayed the first round, the first quarter of this draft. And you took it right in the 5th round. Miles Sanders is a bum, okay? He is a bum, has always been a bum. He has had the chance on the Philadelphia Eagles over the past several years to be their RB1, to be the focal point of their offense, okay? You don't have guys like Carson Wentz and Nick Foles on the team because they're electric fucking shootout throwers. Now, Nick Foles wound up doing that and wound up fucking beating the Patriots in one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time. But that's a once-off, okay? You're looking at a guy that was the RB1 on the easiest division in the NFL, that played against some of the most abysmal defenses, played for some of the most prolific offenses, played for guys like fucking Doug Peterson, who's a retard, but loves fucking high energy, fast-paced offenses, which hinges on the runner keeping defenses on their toes. Run it, throw it before they can line up. And he sucked ass. He will continue to suck ass. I know fantasy is about volume, so his ADP does jump up a little bit versus being on Philadelphia and having a running quarterback that could actually throw the ball with accuracy, with weapons. So if he was on Philly, I couldn't endorse even drafting him at all. I wouldn't take him with my last pick. I would write something in on a blank piece of paper. Being on Carolina helps, but it definitely does not justify a 7th round pick, dude. So again, I'm gonna say that pick, that's a big no-no. That's a bad pick. I don't like it at all. Fuck me if I'm wrong. No homo. Drake London, listen, showed some flashes last year. Great. Bro, you're on Atlanta. You don't have a quarterback. Your team is shit. A rookie running back is going in the 1st or 2nd round in most drafts, and that is usually the sign of a major fucking rebuild, which Atlanta is firmly in. Their defense stinks. They have an elite talent in Kyle Pitts, whose career they're just fucking wasting because they don't target him nearly enough. They don't give him enough of an opportunity. Your starting quarterback is Marcus Mariota. Dude, Drake London, bad pick. All right, so as much as I fucking S'd your D to start the fucking draft, your 2nd quarter of your draft is dog shit. Miles Sanders sucks. Drake London sucks. Now, David Njoku. Njoku has had high hopes. Very highly touted, highly scouted, very highly drafted in past years. He just hasn't done anything. However, I will give you a pass on this pick because you didn't take a tight end until the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th round. You didn't take a tight end until the 9th round, and you got a value on him. And the only reason you got a value on him is because this guy was used to having Jacoby Brissett and Baker Mayfield throw to him for several fucking years. Now he's got Deshaun Watson. If Watson could be 80% as good as he was before the year he got suspended, this dude is primed to have at least 900 yards, between 5 and 10 touchdowns, probably 80 receptions. You're looking at 250 points or so, which in the 9th round for a tight end, that is fucking brilliant. I love that pick. You doubled up because you knew you needed something. You took Woods out of fucking Indy. He had signs of brilliance last year, but he is also fighting with Mo Alley Cox, and you're looking at a rookie quarterback with an elite fucking wide receiver. They're clearly going to run the offense through Jonathan Taylor. They have to. I don't know, but I don't say it's a bad pick. Rashad Penny, throw it in the fucking garbage. I don't understand why you haven't dropped him yet. No Seattle running back has done anything relevant in years besides Marshawn Lynch. And every year it's always Rashad Penny's going to be the guy. Penny's going to be the guy. Penny's never the guy. Penny is hurt every fucking year. Penny is always in a running back by committee, which he is again with Kenneth Walker III. And he's not the RB1, despite the fact having seniority, experience, and a rapport with Pete Carroll. So there's no reason to even roster him. He should be on every waiver wire, and you took him in the first fucking 10 rounds, which is ridiculous. Now, where you fucking turned it all around at the end, you took two players that at the end of last year were kind of maligned as far as their ADP goes, as far as their public opinion of them goes, their heart goes, their dedication is concerned. You took Michael Thomas, and guess what? Michael Thomas might win the fucking league for you. Because I'll be honest with you, Michael Thomas, I'm not going to lie to you. I want to take an average, not total points for the year. Average. So say Michael Thomas plays 10 games and Watson plays 17. We take the amount of points divided by the amount of games. Michael Thomas is probably going to give you more points than your fourth round pick in Christian Watson. Lest we forget, before he pulled his baby boy bullshit the past 2 fucking years, the guy had one of the greatest wide receiver seasons in the history of the NFL, let alone fantasy. Dude had 170 receptions, 1,800 yards, and over 10 touchdowns. The guy was a fucking freak, broke 400 fantasy points, which is reserved strictly for quarterbacks. If this dude fucking lets his balls drop, stops being a little fucking asshole, okay, mashes that pussy up and then takes his clit and turns it into a penis and returns to even a fraction of what he was in 2018 when he won me 2 championships. My brother, you have an amazing pick right there. Amazing league-winning pick. If he has 2 good games to start the year, if I'm you, I'm trying to trade him. Because he's shown over the past few years that he won't finish the season, but he'll start strong enough to inspire hope. That's just between me and you and anybody else who watches this. And then Kareem Hunt, who's also one of my favorite players in the league, dude. Great running back, great vision, great IQ, great speed, and a great pass-catching back. He is not currently on a team, and that's the only thing holding people back from drafting him, because you can't envision him in an offense, and since he's not on a team, you can't imagine him being the RB1 on any offense. And fantasy is all about touches. It's all about volume. And you know, if you're not on a team, odds are you're not going to be the top target getter. But I love the pick because you got him in the fucking 14th round. Okay, 13th round. Okay. You didn't fucking jump at a defense or a kicker. You did the right thing. You waited till the very end. So with your third overall pick, Sonny, you got Jefferson, Pollard, Cousins, Watson, Jones, Goff, Sanders, London, Njoku, Woods, Penny, Thomas, Hunt, Jags, and Koo. I'm gonna give you a C+, C+ to B-. You really came out on fire, but you laid an egg on a few rounds. So this is what I'm gonna do. At eye level, I'm gonna give you a C+, but you have an A upside. Okay, and your upside hinges basically on: does Michael Thomas play? Does Kareem Hunt play? And can Watson do something? Because after you have a huge name wide receiver, but after that, you have a bunch of junk and a possible Michael Thomas. So you have a very big gap here. You could miss the playoffs or you could go all the way. But you have a couple things you're hinging on there. But for the first ever fantasy football draft, I think you did very well. If I had to gun to my head, no upside, just pick one, I would say B-. Okay? In my heart, I feel a B- for you. I think at eye level, being honest, candid with myself, I think C+, but I could see you being an A. All right, so now we're 6 teams deep. I give Sonny an A. I give Kenford a D. I give Reeves a B. I give Ryan between a C and a B, and Ian between a high B and an A. So far, out of the top 6 teams, I like Ian to be the best team overall, although I do see a lot of good things with Ryan, Reeves, and Sonny. All right? So that is it for now. That is the first half of the league, and we will do the next 6 over the next few days. I just need to find a night where I got a couple hours to spend with you guys. I can't wait. September 7th, the league starts, and the kickoff is going to happen here, 16 Hampton Court, Maywood, New Jersey. I'll see you all there. Peace.